Good morning, everybody. It is just after 6 o'clock on the 15th of August, and this is our last Friday show in this incarnation. From next week, we go to 3 hours on a Friday, and it's going to be an absolute smorgasbord of stuff. We're going to be bringing in all kinds of people, lots of fun, lots of humor, lots of stupidity, live stuff. And I think we are still the only podcast in the country that does this stuff live. So, there are plenty of reasons for you to tell your friends and your enemies about what we're doing and bring them to join the party. And to guide us through the next 2 hours, you and me and Ben.
Yes,
Ben.
I'm
Hello,
here.
Karpinski. How are you?
Look at me. I'm in golf gear today because today's a special day, Gareth. I get to go from the show to go play golf.
But Ben, that happens quite often, doesn't it?
It doesn't actually, no. No, see, this is a big misconception because I create golf content.
People think you play all the time.
I don't play a lot of 18-hole rounds. This year's been terrible like that. My handicap's gone absolutely into a bad place.
I heard about a guy who is, he's very, very important at one of the banks. And apparently his staffers went and looked up how often he plays golf. And he plays at minimum twice a week.
Well done.
I
Brilliant.
mean, I do admire
And that's the kind of person you want running banks.
Well, is he running the banks?
Still employed.
Listen, Donald Trump plays golf and he orders bombing on Iran while he's on the 8th hole.
I should have got a picture about this, but there's Air Force One, and then there's the big cavalcade card, whatever it's called.
The Beast.
The Beast. He's now got a golf cart version of that. Seriously, I shit you not.
That sounds awesome. See if you can look that up, guys.
Probably to
Trump's golf cart.
Probably to further inflame all those lefties in Scotland.
I'm sure, yeah.
Because he's got golf courses in Ireland and Scotland all
in
around.
fact, he summoned Keir Starmer, who's the Prime Minister of Britain. He summoned him to his golf course. It's better than if the king summons you to Buckingham Palace. It's like another country's president has emasculated Britain to such a degree, and this is not Trump's fault.
Everyone has to a degree.
This is Britain's fault for being such an emasculated place in the first place, right? He summons him. He's like, "Hello, Keir. It's Donald. I'll be at my golf course at half past 7 tomorrow. You better be there. I'm not coming to London. London is terrible. Terrible, terrible place. You got that horrible mayor. He's an awful mayor. I'm staying here. You can come up and see." And Keir Starmer is such a little pussy. He gets on his little, I don't know, fucking toothpaste tube-sized Prime Minister One or whatever it's called. And he buzzes up to Scotland.
Vauxhall Vectra.
Whatever. Yeah, it's probably got like a rotary engine or something. And he gets in there and then he lands and then he probably gets on one of these buggies and in his blue suit. And then he drives off to meet Donald Trump and pay his obeisances. It's fantastic.
So, I think to further inflame the public around there, because they're always boycotting and protesting outside of golf courses.
There's always unattractive women with their tits down to their knees, with placards, a.k.a. Greta Thunberg style, complaining about... I mean, and Trump doesn't give a shit.
No, of course not.
The only people who
see it.
Did you see that interview? I don't know if you saw this.
Can I make my point about this golf cart?
Oh, for God's sake, yes. Let's hear about the golf cart and see if you've got a picture of that in the meantime.
It's the reason I brought up this fucking story, is that he's now he's opening these golf courses, and then he's got the temerity to then bring this fucking Batmobile golf club thing to further piss people off, because he's got, when he plays golf, there's 50 cars around him. The course basically closes. Because
Right.
you've got CIS.
But he still plays golf.
But exactly, and then he's got this armored golf car which just cruises around this idyllic links. Like the links is natural, right? And then you've got this thing.
Monstrous. How has it got 8 wheels?
It's big. It's so comical. Sorry, it wasn't in the show prep. You've got to see a picture of this thing. It looks like it really does look like Batman's car is made into a golf cart. It's black, of course, as well.
So you're going to play this morning, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I'm going to go play in Irene.
Oh, nice. Well, good luck with that river.
Well, it's low. It's only in summer
I know,
where
but
it's
it's
high.
the
It
smell.
stinks.
It's not that I live on it. It's just the river. I don't live in Irene, but I live on that river. It's revolting.
Probably because it's more stagnant. It's smellier in winter.
Yeah, you'll need. Yeah, like in the Middle Ages and in the Renaissance, the women of the royal court would have to wear flowers all over their dresses, actual flowers, because the stink of their bodies was so bad. I mean, men smelled even worse.
French still do that.
The French still smell, yes. But to go back briefly to this Trump golf thing, I don't know if you saw that clip. There's a recording. Some guy from like GB News or whatever went to interview a whole bunch of people on like, I don't know if it was a Free Palestine because that's the flavor of the moment thing. And he could not find one person who wasn't abusive, rude, threatened physical violence, actually started enacting physical violence.
Weird that.
Yeah, and you think to yourself, just first of all, what kind of people are drawn to these causes, right? These are clearly people whose own lives are in complete disorder and disarray. Because I can think of 500 things I need to do if I'm given a free day. I have to fit all of this stuff into that free day, like most of us. Most of us work, right? And then you've got to do all those 100 things. You're not going to have time to go to a protest.
But this is the beauty of a mob and why you can rile them up so easily, is that they don't have these things.
Yeah, well,
they're completely useless people.
Entirely emotionally irascible, right? So you can set fire to those emotions because those emotions are such tinder wood. You can very, very easily create a blaze just by prodding it in the slightest direction. These are the kind of people who get upset and storm out of restaurants and
constantly on call, constantly
and have
on
fights
cue.
and have fights with people and shout at call center people on the phone and the worst kind of people.
Very reactionary, horrible people, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so your weekend, you're starting with some golf, which is excellent.
Gareth, it's one of the best sporting weekends. There's Donald's car there.
Oh, that is revolting.
And it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
It's almost like a golf bucky. That's way worse than I expected it to
I
look.
know. That's the thing. It's so grotesque.
Horrible thing. That's really bad. Does anybody like that? Is there anyone in the audience who's looking at this now going, yeah, I would want one of those?
But again, like the whole thing about the Scottish links is that you only walk. There's never carts on a links golf course because it's flat, it's natural, it's beautiful, and there he is in that thing.
All right, so you said it's going to be a good sporting weekend. Let's get straight into that.
It's pretty much the best sporting weekend. I know there's other weekends in the year that maybe have World Cups or, obviously there's Olympics and those kind of things.
Sure.
But this weekend, sports-wise, is just off the charts with nothing but quality. It's just quality from start to finish.
So what do we got? Some rugby?
Let's start with the rugby. Okay, so Rugby Championship starts. And as you know, Rugby Championship is the Springboks taking on the All Blacks.
Right.
And then Australia and Argentina also play. I know that sounds disparaging, but that's kind of how it goes.
No, well.
It's between those two who are going to win it.
Right.
But I really feel like this year's Rugby Championship is going to be super competitive. Obviously, it all hinges on a couple of key junctions of where that's going to be. The first key junction is if Argentina can somehow be competitive and good at home. Because the first two matches, they've got New Zealand at home. New Zealand got a very much full-strength team. All the big stars are back. They think this is their best side. It's going to do battle. That game Saturday, 10 to midnight, because it's in Argentina.
Okay.
And if they can somehow do well there, then they go home to face the Springboks with the tail between the legs kind of thing. And then they'll be firing to get some points there.
So in a way, we're also hoping that happens.
Yeah, I do want that because Argentina are strong.
Right.
Then you've got Australia probably looking the best they've looked in quite some time. I know they lost the Lions series. They were always going to.
Yeah.
But they're starting to really get some good players together. If they can just get lucky with injuries, again, they're more competitive than they've been for a long time. Granted, low bar, Aussies don't like rugby union. This is the sport that only 40-year-olds kind of play.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. People don't realize that about Australia. I mean, it's a big country in terms of landmass, but it's actually not a big population. And most of the people who watch rugby don't watch the rugby we watch.
No. Rugby league, which is an odd game where you sort of hump the ground and don't play with flanks. People play that more, and then of course
is that
Aussie
more
rules.
is that more popular with what we would call bogans?
I just think rugby union in Australia need to grow up and make the shorts shorter because Australian men gravitate towards tiny shorts.
Oh, really?
So you've got Aussie rules.
I thought it was
tiny
only
shorts.
I thought it was
Rugby
only
league, tiny
our
shorts.
Afrikaners who like their very short shorts.
No, the Aussies do as well.
Do they
We're
have?
very close like that. But rugby union, they've got normal size shorts, and they wonder why they're not attracting the alpha males of their society. Like, I mean, guys, come on. I mean,
So
why do we have all the answers?
Would you almost judge the prevalence of testosterone and equate it, correlate it, in fact, to the shortness of the shorts.
Yeah, I think in general life, if you want men to do something that's rigorous, difficult, challenging, look at the length of their shorts.
Right, because long shorts would get in the way.
I just think long shorts also shows that you've shown the white flag to masculine energy.
You basically bared your
You're
ass.
basically saying, I'm not, guys, I haven't got this. In case of emergency, not me.
Right.
That's what long shorts means.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, so anyone who's thinking, because summer's just around the corner, anyone who's thinking of improving their image, maybe
shorts, guys.
trying to be a little more vital out there in the real world. Guys, you heard it from Ben. There's some unsolicited fashion advice.
So, yeah,
Get the shorts shorter.
So we've summed up rugby union in Australia just by short length,
right.
Which then brings us to the two favourites. The Boks are the Boks. The bookies somehow have the All Blacks going to the tournament as slight favourites because they've got the Springboks at home.
Well, where is this being played?
So the Southern Hemisphere.
No. Where is this Bok game?
Well, I'm getting to the second. I'm just giving you the overview about these four
I'm just
teams.
trying to get some geography here because you've taken us to Argentina.
Yeah. So again, like
Right.
the whole key games thing. So the Boks are away to New Zealand this year for 2 tests back-to-back. So that's what people say gives them the edge. But there's another thing about touring is that Oaks dig it.
Yeah, of course.
Because they get away from their families,
fun.
they're with their mates, and that's what this team is. They're a bunch of mates. The culture's fantastic. So I don't see it as a disadvantage. I think when you make these guys more razor focused by saying, no team has won at Eden Park since 1994, our guys are going to be like, fucking hold my brandy.
Right.
We're in. We're going to make this happen. So I think New Zealand are in for more hurt. The Aussies are going to be plucky, yet fall flat. And Argentina, you never know with these Oaks. That's the thing. Latin blood. With
Unpredictable.
with them, take away the shorts. They're above short logic. They just mull. They're a little bit mull. I mean, this isn't the Open Voices podcast, but Argentinians, Latins, they're a little bit mull, and they are fiery. So they're either going to do well or fall flat. This weekend's pivotal to that. So yeah, this weekend's matches, the Springboks are playing Australia, Ellis Park.
Okay.
Plane flyover, massive yes, overpriced tickets.
We never get sick
Call
of
it
that
what you
plane
want.
flying over Ellis Park shit, huh?
We don't.
It's
huh?
like some of the people who watched that game in '95 are dead, and yet the idea, the imagery consistently brings forth happy feelings.
But another thing is the average. I'd love to do a test on this. The average Springbok fan walks into Ellis Park after 7.5 drinks. So you fly a plane over, I don't know.
They think it's magic.
Get
It's
a
like,
horse on the roof. Oaks are going to go.
It's like phoenixes over
Exactly.
Hogwarts. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Got you.
So that's the big game. The Boks have got a pretty much full strength team. It's just Damien de Allendy and Cheslin Colby have got niggles, so they're out. Andre Esthazen and Edward van der Merwe come in. Otherwise, great team, great bench. The Aussies, again, good side, but James O'Connor, who was a boyish kind of heartthrob 15 years ago, they've turfed him out of somewhere. He's 35, coming out of the abyss. He'll be their fly half. But they got a good team. Valentini, unfortunately, is not playing for them, who's their best forward and a charismatic loose forward. But they got big timber like Will Skelton, who weighs 145 kilograms. But because he weighs 145 kilograms, he can only last 60 minutes.
Right. Substantial, but not great on stamina.
He's pup off. They got to bring him off.
Yeah.
They got to bring him off, and then he just falls into a heap, and then
They resuscitate him with
resuscitate
food.
next week. So Rugby Championship, massive. That's the big thing. But then we've got MTN8's semi-finals as well. So I will have to go to my notes for this one because there's 2 matches. I don't want to discredit the other match.
Well, while you're going to your notes, let me read this from Herman, who says, Ben, and this is both a compliment, Ben, and a tremendous insult. So just steady yourself. Herman says, my father, Professor Johan Cook, and I watched your John Smith special yesterday.
Nice, good call.
Which is excellent. I advise anyone to do so. He says, fucking awesome. That's how he describes it.
Thank you.
He also says, thank you. Again, compliments all around, right? Then he says, don't know how you organized him to come to your show. Not such a compliment.
Well,
Where do we take this comment from Herman? How do we begin in the comment section today?
Thanks, but at the same time, shove it up your ass. Look at the previous shows. We get good guests in the studio here because we are looking to provide the greatest sports show. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy a lot more episodes. And when you go back,
Look at him there, in a hoodie, trying to be cool.
Herman, just go back, see the other episodes too, and there's more high-profile guests coming.
All right, Herman, keep those comments coming. I like it.
So yeah, MTN8. Okay, I know it's
Right.
early season for the local domestic football.
Yes.
But we've already got the semi-finals at MTN8. So that's the best 8 teams from last year in the log.
Okay.
They're playing this big bonanza where there's 10 million rand on.
Hence the 8 part of MTN8.
You missed nothing, Gareth.
I'm really sharp at
So
this.
tomorrow we've got Pirates versus Sundowns in an incredible match because Pirates have started the season obviously chasing Sundowns, as is always the script.
Yes.
But they've lost 2 in a row. They've got this new coach that's come in who has made wholesale changes to the team. He keeps tinkering with the team. He's leaving stalwarts on the bench or out of the squad completely.
Has he been threatened with imminent death yet?
It's
by
coming.
fans?
This weekend could be that weekend. Because if they lose to Sundowns and they're already out of this tournament, they've
gonna be
lost
some
3
shit.
out of 3 straight away.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Sundowns is Sundowns, so you know they're going to be bloody great. That 3 o'clock tomorrow, huge game. And then
Okay.
6 o'clock tomorrow, Sekhukhune versus Stellenbosch. Another huge game. These 2 teams have been thereabouts the last few seasons, really strong teams.
Okay.
So local football is huge. And then,
I'll take your word for it.
perhaps, Gareth, perhaps for many people, the biggest thing this weekend is the Premier League starts. So right now, I know James is getting engaged and all that kind of stuff, but he's going to take he's going to
Guys,
take a break.
Let's just pause for a second there. Flex, have you spoken to James this week? You have, okay. Any word? Did he take the girlfriend with to meet the parents? She is with him. Okay. So Ben may be onto something here
We
because
established that.
every time you would go away with a girl or the entire history of this show, people would say, he's going to go and get engaged. That always was the thing, right?
I know. I'm not
So
a
now you're the
dipshit
one
saying-
dishing it out. Okay.
Exactly. So James is going to take a break from grazing knees this week because the
Right.
first game of the Premier League is his team, Liverpool.
Yes.
They're at home against Bournemouth. So that's tonight, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Really big game. And then, of course, Aston Villa, Newcastle tomorrow, also a big one. Newcastle, I mean, who knows what they're doing with their major star, Isak. They're taking on Aston Villa, who will be very good this year, I think. They're a dark horse team. They showed some glimpses last year, and they're so under the radar this time round that I would say they'll do pretty well.
All right.
Fulham versus Brighton, another big one. Spurs versus Burnley. That'll be at 4 o'clock tomorrow.
I can't wait. I'm going to
Wolves-
especially put that in my calendar.
I know, because you're a Spurs fan.
yeah.
Wolves hosting Man City, Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, and then as we get into the big one, the huge one for the weekend, Man United versus Arsenal. Sunday,
All right.
5:30. If you're in Joburg, come to Benchwarmers. Sandila, that's his team.
Right.
Arsenal, that's my team.
And your team. Yeah,
And we're going to
up
square
again.
off for that one.
Very good. So
So-
you two you'll be hosting an impromptu get together of football fans.
Look, we'll be there the whole weekend. So if you want to come for the rugby, you want to come to the football, come join us. But perhaps most importantly, UFC 319, Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev.
Yes, I was asked about this. Someone asked me about this, and I said, "Why are you asking me? What do I know?"
Well, what I can tell you, Gareth,
I did
is
tell them
that-
to come and listen to you this morning, though. So they're probably whoever this person was who walked up to me the other day in public and said, "What do you think Dricus's chances are?" And I said, "I have no idea." But
Well,
here's your answer.
Here it is, guys, and I'll try and make it brief because, of course, I've already spoken so much about the sport today. But this is the fight of the year.
Ben,
So-
some people just come for that.
Great.
Don't apologize.
I'm here for it.
Some people could give a shit what I have to say. They come for the sport.
I could give you 20 minutes on this, but I'll make it brief. This is the fight of the year.
Oh.
So I don't care if you've got beef with someone from high school and you're about to clock him one at a bar this weekend, or if it's some high-paid boxer, it all pales into insignificance. This is the
Right.
fight. This is the combat sport moment of the year, Dricus versus Khamzat.
That big a deal.
It's
there
that
it is.
big of a deal. Now, the UFC's gone up and down in recent times. They've had some pretty iffy cards, and this card itself isn't great. But as title fights go, you've got Dricus, who is on a 9-fight win streak in the UFC. Khamzat over there is on an 8-fight win streak in the UFC. He's never lost as a fighter, ever.
Wow.
They're both 31 years old. They're both very much in their primes. Dricus is a proven champion. But Khamzat is, I mean, as I said in the video this week, like he's more dangerous than a feminist who's been told to keep quiet. Like he
let's
is.
never say that to a
I know.
feminist.
You'll get
You come
violence.
enraged.
That's what that guy is.
Yeah.
He's an incredible wrestler. He's got a bigger frame than Dricus, as in he's taller, but Dricus is stronger and more sort of
You could almost
thick-set.
say worse than a feminist who you've said, keep quiet, sweetheart.
Yes.
That's how angry.
Smile, darling.
Right, yeah.
You can say you're worse to a feminist.
You're much prettier when you smile, sweetheart. That kind of thing.
That's the intensity of smoldering madness that comes at Chimaev will bring to this
Wow.
fight.
I mean, Dricus has got to be on form.
I did not walk around this one lightly.
Okay.
So you've got 2 unbeaten forces in the UFC, great track records. Dricus is very conscious of Khamzat's threats. He's been very respectful about him in the press leading up to this one. but he's always got a plan. You know, Drickus is a complete professional. Like he knows where his camp is because they've thought it out long term.
Right.
Every time he gets into a camp, it's incrementally better. Where I think the difference between him and a guy like Kamzat is that Kamzat isn't there yet. He's still fucking around with camps here and there and different people. And I think there's still a novelty factor about him being in this championship territory. Drickus was born a champion.
He's like a wild animal.
He is a bit like that. He's a lot more feral. Very interested to see how he goes in cutting weight because he has missed weight in the past, which is the massive professional no-no.
Yes.
That's like getting onto a set of a porn set and lasting 3 seconds.
No, you got
It's
to
not what
last.
you're there for.
Yeah.
You've got to be better. You've got to be more professional. And I think everything just ties into this fight being a massive moment in the middleweight division. Drickus wins this. He's going to go down as one of the greatest of all time straight away. He'll potentially have an argument for the greatest pound-for-pound fighter right now in the UFC.
That's terrific.
If Kamzat wins this, then it's like almost like a new era of potential hype trains all coming together, finally getting a title.
Huh.
And the division itself, I mean, Drickus will probably get a rematch, but I don't even think it's worth talking about this stuff right now. It's just Drickus. He's going to win this fight. He's just everything about the trajectory of this guy. And yes, this will be his toughest fight ever. But everything about his trajectory to get to this point means that he's a true champion that will take on whatever challenge. And Drickus will know that this guy's great for the first couple of rounds. He's never fought a 5-round fight that's gone the distance. He's only fought these three-round fights. And even in the third round, he's tapered off. His second last fight against Kamaru Usman, who is a welterweight by trade, literally 10 days' notice, came off the couch, fought the soak, and he plateaued against him. So I know this guy's going to get better. He's going to get smarter. He's probably got more people who wants to work with him who are smarter. But gas tank's a major consideration, and general composure. I don't care how dangerous you are, much like the feminists we spoke about.
Yes.
If you want to achieve something in life of real meaning, you've got to be composed. You can't just be all aggression, all effort. And Drickus is so super smart. He's
Discipline and no emotion.
Drickus is a literal fight genius.
Yeah.
You know, people won't give him the credit for that, and I've said it many, many times in the show. He thinks about things like Vili Leroux plot a backline. Drickus is like that for fighting ×5. His mind's always working. He's super smart.
Like a chess player, actually.
He really is. Yeah. And, you know, as I said, he's 31 now. This will be his 4th title fight in the UFC. He's won the previous 3. It's going to be an amazing fight. How long can
you keep going in UFC if you're getting on a bit?
It all depends on how you train, I think, because it's one thing going into the fights, but the hardest part of the sport is how far you push yourself. If you're sparring all the time, getting hit all the time, like Sean Strickland, you probably are going to shit in a bag by the time of like 40, 45. If you're someone like Max Holloway who doesn't believe in sparring, he's constantly just working through reps, he might have a longer sort of time to actually be present with his child. But I would say you shouldn't really go past 35.
Okay.
A lot of guys have to.
So you're talking me out of it.
Gareth, it'd be a tough start for you. It'd be a tough start for you to get back into it.
Damn it, Ben. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, guys,
I had dreams and ambitions. You've dashed against the rocks.
We'll find new ones. But, yeah, Sunday, UFC 319. I know the card will start at around sort of 4 a.m. with some fights you don't want to watch. That's in Chicago.
Okay.
So just be ready, waiting, and salivating at 6 a.m. onwards because this fight's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be fucking incredible. The box play, 5 o'clock Saturday, and then as an added bonus, but wait, there's more. The Proteas are playing right now in a very intriguing T20 series against the Aussies,
right,
in Australia land.
Okay,
they played in Darwin the other day.
Right.
It's 1-1. It's 1-1 because Deval Brevis just absolutely obliterated them with the bat. Soak's 22. He's just scoring runs. Obviously, he's the baby AB de Villiers guy because AB spent some time with him.
Okay.
Very similar styles, and he is as dangerous as AB now as a batsman.
Huh.
It's a phenomenal thing to watch. Saturday, 11 o'clock, you'll be able to get that.
Can I just say, AB was fucking good in that Legends thing, right?
AB's a one of a kind.
He's still got it. He really, I mean, the guy has not played for a while. He's happily retired in all senses of sport.
He's a man in his 40s.
And yet he got out there and he just made runs. Incredible. It was almost head and shoulders above everyone else.
It was almost unfair him playing against those older gents.
Yeah,
but then saying that
he made them all look like octogenarians.
It's not like they were old.
I mean, I was kind of hoping Pat Simcox would make a cameo appearance.
That would be a different sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So all of that plus the English Premier League starts and MTN 8, a very big pivotal weekend for Orlando Pirates.
But now you're repeating yourself. So
just recapping about how fucking amazing this is.
Judas says, good to hear James is maturing and starting to build a life and perhaps a family.
Probably a good girl dad. I see James as girl dad.
Meeting the parents is a big step. Would be nice to hear if he gets hitched. Well, we're going to find out next week, right? So you got to wait until Friday. By the way, I mentioned this the other day. I've come up with a foolproof plan for people who are pissed off that we're going to one show a week. You take the Friday and you break it into half hours. And you have one for every day of the week. And you even have a bonus for a Saturday. How's that? I'm giving you 6 shows if you just break it up into pieces. Don't you think that's clever, producers? Smart, right? Yeah. You got fucking brains. That's why I sit here.
Absence makes the heart grow more excited.
Yeah, right.
And fonder. Just get excited for Fridays, guys.
Nico has a very good sports-related question for you, Ben. He says, why can we not get a fight like this at 5 p.m.? It's so difficult to stay calm with a glass of water at 7.
True, Nico, but you could also pull the all-nighter here. I mean...
Oh, that's horrific, though.
I know it's horrific, but guys, these things don't come around a lot.
Sean,
Fight of the year.
again, I don't know whether this is an insult or a compliment, Ben, but don't get all emotional. Sean says, Ben looks like he's ready to fight Drickus.
Yeah, I know, I'm not living to fight Drickus, but fuck, I'm just so excited for the guy. Like, guys, there is nothing, like, if you watch the press conferences, watch the weigh-ins, all that kind of stuff, nothing... Right. I mean, we all love the Springboks, right? When the impies run out, all that kind of shit, they're playing. But guys, this is one man who he takes the country on his shoulders here. Not that we ask him to.
I think of your show every time I watch the start of the rugby because old Sibu, the big guy who comes out and does the MP thing, he was one of your first guests.
Yeah, Norman, take that.
I remember that. Yeah, but what other shows have had him on? And Debbie has compliments for you. There's lots coming in. I mean, why not? Let's take some time to relish the enormous support Ben has garnered for himself.
It's such a sport weekend, so let's get excited.
Debbie Furbank says, Ben, unfortunate surname, but anyway, I never used to be into sport of any kind before, but the way Ben talks about this really gets me into it. The whole year I've watched every match he's told us to, and I've enjoyed it.
Fun, yes, Debbie.
Wow, I mean, a resounding compliment.
Yeah,
that's
Debbie,
very kind. Debbie,
life definitely gets better when you just get into sport. It's the best. And we're so lucky. Like I went to an event this week, and there was like the old legend Springboks, the guys who played 100 tests, right? And I look around, and there's like this entire room of high net worth individuals, important people.
Yes, I saw you at that event. What was that?
So Peregrine Finance, they've got this thing that they've turned 1 million into 100 million. So they're the 100 makers. So they've got all the box Centurions.
Right.
And they bring them in. And they had this most amazing panel discussion, Matt Pierce. And everyone in that room is hanging on every one of the words. John de Villiers is great. Percy Montgomery was there. They wheeled him out of there from the Cape.
Oh, that's good.
Brian Abana...
You got to do an interview with Percy.
I'd love to get Percy in studio.
Percy I think he has the best stories.
I struggle. He might not be able to retell them, but he definitely does have the best stories. I'm not sure what coaxes out the best. 2 tequilas straight up. I don't know.
Well, I think do whatever you want.
You'd have
Ben,
to interview Percy in Camps Bay, because
maybe that's a good idea.
He would need a home game
in his own environment. Yeah. That's good.
He would need a home game. Yeah. So. These oaks were in a room, everyone loved them, and they're such nice people. They've got great stories, and you can see how excited people are.
Yeah.
I don't go to any other events where you see excitement.
Do you have to dress up for this thing?
Yeah, people were dressed in suits.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, that's good. That makes a difference.
But
people tend to behave better as well when they're in a suit.
Gareth, it's a natural excitement, like Debbie's got there. It's a wonderful excitement.
Yes. Gijs says Ben is ready to put on a Deadpool suit.
I will. I don't know if I'll fit in. So speaking of suits, I've got tailored suits. I put this one on this week, and it was actually tight for the first time in my life.
Well, is that because of muscle, which most people have the fat problem, right? I put on a suit last night. I had to go to a thing. I had a suit on. I felt very comfortable. My shirt, it didn't feel fat around here.
Nice.
And
but you've been working hard.
2 people who have obviously got, they've got vision problems. They both said to me, "Well, you've lost some weight," and I thought, yeah, well, a kilogram, I suppose it counts, a kilogram or 2,
It's also how you've reshaped yourself as well. It's not just about the weight, it's about getting stronger.
But I look like a man instead of an adolescent girl.
Well done.
Which is good. Yeah.
But obviously, because I'm mostly bald now for a while.
Yes. Changes the way people respond to you, maybe?
Well, there is that. But
do they think you're a neo-Nazi? Or?
Well, there is that. But where I was going with that is that I need a bit more, but more on my face. So when I'm very lean, my face is very drawn out.
It's
'cause
gaunt.
I've got quite a tall head.
Yes, well, we've discussed this on many opportunities on the show.
So-
but at least the shape of your head is not revolting. I think if
not
I went
horrific,
bald, I
yeah.
would have a revolting shaped head.
So this winter, I've been basically experimenting with being slightly bigger
Well,
to
I
make
mean,
my face look normal.
and really the experimenting is going to continue for you through into next year because soon we'll have hairstyles. I saw a guy yesterday, this event I was at. He had poofed up the hair. He had sort of a mohawk thing going, but he'd made it. He was fully, I would say, 40 centimeters taller and suddenly very cocky
Do you have
because
dark hair?
no, it's sort of lightish.
The guy at my gym, he's got a hairstyle like here.
Yeah,
got
but it's
so much
amazing how
hair.
that extra hair gives a tremendous
And he's
sense
a
of
white oak as well.
overconfidence. A white oak, yeah. All right, then. We really, the comment section is alive and well today, and everybody is contributing enormously. So thank you all. You know, what do people say? Thank you for your service when someone's been in the military. And I feel often that the comment section's like going into war. Not
is a
all
war
of us
zone.
will be here at the end. And people are full of it here. Love the sports sector on the show. On the Bounce is fucking cool. World-class guests. Actual
Stevie.
insight across the sports spectrum. And the GCS is legendary. Thank guys. Well, Stevie, this kind of comment will get you mentioned once on the show because it's all just too good and not very funny. So well done on getting your mention this morning. This is the last time.
Yeah.
Guys, flag that guy for the next comment. All right.
But this is where the real network's at the moment. We've got great shows.
Love
Firing.
DDP, that's Drickus Duplessis.
Correct.
But Cumshot is what Gavin calls him. Takes it in the first, unfortunately. That's what he reckons will happen. I mean, a lot of sexual innuendo there in that comment. But you know what? Everyone has their reason to watch. Drickus is the PE of the MMA world. That's a terrible, nasty thing from
is this
Congo Chris.
person?
Congo Chris. He's underrated, underestimated,
Oh, okay.
underappreciated. But when the pressure comes, he performs.
Okay, I see what you're saying there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Only a 2-hour show. What cuck is that? No, we're doing 3 hours from next week. And if I hear any more complaints about this, I'll cut it down. I swear to God, don't make me do it. I'll press the fucking button. I'm not scared of you. All right. What are they? Don't tune me. All right.
Don't tempt me.
Don't tempt me to do this. Okay, then a couple of things here. Slippery Pickle. So far, I think the comment of the morning. This is obviously in response to our talking about angry feminists and how that's not the way that you win. Slippery Pickle says, I almost got fucked up by lesbians for saying, don't be sorry, be careful. They're very aggressive when they're in heat.
Yeah.
Where was this? Builder's Warehouse? Where did this happen?
That lesbian musk is.
Listen, I went to a hardware store the other day. It was too stereotypical. You know, I know Gayton is angry with some podcasters for stereotyping colored people, but I got to tell you, like, I've always been a tremendous supporter of the lesbians, but they kind of walked right into this one on, I think it was 2-3 weekends ago. It was probably my mistake. You don't go there on a weekend.
Go to their habitat and say they walked
exactly.
into
No,
it.
I'm not criticizing. But I saw a couple walking together. All the stereotypes, like the kind of ankle boot type thing.
Sturdy. Yeah.
Yeah, shorts, short boy's haircut. Quite something. They lived up to. If you landed here as an alien and you'd never seen or heard of lesbians before, that was all you needed to see in one go. you know?
They always have that look when they're in shopping malls, like they're about to or have just flattened a Roman's pizza.
Yes.
It's a
Particularly
particular
a
look
Roman's
that's-
pizza.
yeah.
Yeah, in the blue box.
So there hasn't been like a long sit down. It was like in and out,
No.
but like big quantity taken in, short period.
And there's a faint air of aggression. Yeah.
Well, that's what,
If you want to start something, they'll be happy to finish it.
well, that's
And
the
they'll
thing
pick
with,
up tools, whatever's around.
Yeah, that's the thing when you put so much synthetic, like high energy stuff into your body, it tires you, but it makes you angry. So you like that sort of troubled back and forth. There's a push and pull factor.
Oh, I want to compliment you myself, Ben, not just leave it to the comment section this morning. watch your videos occasionally. Not always. Who has the time?
No one. Yeah.
You put out a lot of stuff.
Try.
What can I say? It's very difficult to keep up. But I saw that you said you start your day and this is your plan, and you drink electrolytes and you do. I'm taking your advice. It's taken 20 years of us knowing each other for me to actually take you seriously. But here I am.
Yeah, but that's because
admitting it.
That's because you're used to my voice. Like, we've known each other so long.
It's a bit of a noise.
I could tell you something life
yeah.
changing, and then 20 years later, because I haven't made a video like that in years.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's something that's just like Percy Montgomery. You kind of have to shake him sometimes to get probably under just hours and hours of just non-stop fucking droning from Ben. Maybe something eventually came through. Okay. Judith says, "Oh yes, I'm a straight woman and I'm super scared of lesbians.
Yeah.
The way they walk and dress. Oh, the horror." Now, there's no need for us to be disparaging here, Judith. Just because your name is almost the same as the guy who betrayed Christ doesn't mean you have to be horrible this morning.
But it's nice to know that Judith has a place where she can feel safe to say that.
Well, I want to move on, and I want to release the lesbians from potential abuse by our audience this morning, because as you know, I'm a huge supporter of lesbians. But I do want to say that the most disgusting thing I think we've ever played on this show is about to come up, and it was passed on to me by Dave Levinson. Okay, so I want to give Dave both, I don't know if it's credit, probably blame.
You should never give Dave Levinson credit for anything in life.
He was on the show here with his friend Kurt Schoenrath on Wednesday. Kurt's doing a show at Monte Casino, which I advise anyone who wants
Kurt confirm such a status? Actually, his friend.
Well, he said he knows Dave. Okay, so anyway, they said to me after the show, and I hate when people talk on the show and then we don't involve you. You're part of the whole conversation. If you listen to the show, I want you to be off the air and on the air part of the conversation with us. So Kurt says, "Oh my God, Dave, you've got to send Gareth that clip." And Dave goes like ashen-faced, and he goes, "I don't know if I should." So Kurt goes, "No, you've got to send it. But Gareth, make sure you listen to it on your own when there's no one around." So I thought, don't know if I want to, what does it have to do with? Well, it was worse than even I expected. But because we're an open platform, and we don't know who this person is. Okay, we don't know who the person who recorded this is. We don't know for what purpose it was recorded. It might be fake, for all we know. But I want you to take this from whence it comes. In other words, Dave Levinson. Don't think he made it up. Someone sent it to him. You got that clip, guys? All right, this is frightening. It's only a voice clip. There's no video. It's some... I don't know how to describe this person, and perhaps we should listen to it and then try to figure out what's going on here. It's very, very odd. It could have been recorded many years ago, but it's certainly about a memory someone had from a long time ago. So take a listen to this, and let's just analyze this, okay?
I remember we used to go down as a family to Eastern Beach. But I'm talking early 70s, mid 70s. It was lovely down there, but now that area is fucked. Anyway, the old lady, it was lovely. We'd go down, the old man had an old Ford Cortina, and us kiddies and the folks would jump in. And the old lady used to pack lovely food to have down there, a picnic. All the families would have picnics in those days down there. And we're talking the devil eggs and fricadelles and lovely granola juice that the old lady would make. It was lovely. And then as a treat, she would pack in a lovely tin of the cool tin peaches and cream. That would be the pudding before we go for a swim and maybe go do a little bit of fishing with the old man. And I remember the one year the weather was beautiful. That was the year my brother fucked a dead penguin down there. We were walking along and my brother saw his nose pick up, and I said, "No." The folks were a little bit further in front of us. He said, "What is that?" I said to him, "What is that?" He looked back and he saw this fucking dead penguin. There where the aquarium is, there's that like deck type of thing. There was this fucking thing underneath it, but it wasn't woolly, it was like a green color. There was a little bit of green shit coming out of its arse already, but it was fine. He said, "I want to screw this thing. I've never screwed something from the sea." I've only obviously did my climbs and my fucking yagis, feral cats and all that shit. So I said, we'll get it done. But there weren't many people around, luckily. Chaps, we put his prick in and it did a very similar thing to that dead pig. As soon as it would go in, it would come out and that air would release. So it would go in, out, in, out, in, out. Sounded like a fucking old bicycle pump that was fucked. The non-return valve was releasing air. Chaps, the smell. Good God, people, that fucking dead pig has fuck all on that thing. Look, eventually he calmed in the fucking thing and he pulled it out, but I still said to him, you better go wash your prick, my boot. So he went down to the tidal pool and he washed his prick in the salt water. But it was red, it stayed red for a while. I think it had a bit of infection, I'm not sure. But anyway, he said it was one of his best crews. He said he probably cummed in the fucking thing maybe 4 times. Good God, people.
Oh my God.
Wow.
All right, so could be real. Who knows? I'd like to imagine that it isn't real. It would give me peace of mind.
I would like to imagine nothing again in my whole life.
I mean, feral cats, pigs, and now a dead penguin and the green stuff. And everything about this is so revolting.
The way he dispensed the sage advice, you better go wash your prick now.
Carl says, yes, Barry Hilton's really lost it. Christine says, related to a previous discussion, but it's worthy of a mention here. As a lesbian, your descriptions are spot on. Cis, penguin peel. Oh my God. Also, penguins smell bad when they're living. Never mind, says B. So I don't know if this is real or not, but I thought, you know what? We're an honest show. We let people know what's going on. This is what Dave Levinson listens to in his spare time. Voice notes from probably one of his best mates, for all we know. Right? Sounds like a kind of guy who knows Dave. So there we go. He said, be afraid, and what do I do? Listen to it on my own. What do? I play it for you. We hide nothing.
Nobody was ready for that.
No.
We went from tin peaches and creams to fucking a dead penguin.
That's exactly right. Is that the most crazy thing you've heard all week? Flex? Ketsi, what do you think? Do you think we've ruined the show in James's absence? Perfect way to end the 3-show-a-week cycle. Yeah, you're probably right. Because after this, who would want to listen for 3 shows a week? All right, the Cortina made a sharp turn, says Viasin, agreeing with you there. Limited Edition says, I almost got beaten up by a lesbian for addressing her as ma'am. How do you address them? No. I think you're talking about transgenders, different thing, right? So Limited Edition, what are you living in, 2008? We now have a whole new group of people who demand to... lesbians are not transgenders. You don't mix them up.
That guy's profile picture is with you.
Yeah, which is also disturbing because it looks like many years ago at some nightclub or something. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, listen, just learn the difference between the transgenders and the lesbians.
Yeah, but if a lesbian is so masculine... Yeah.
No, I think you can... I think you know. All right. Jason says, thank you, G. It made my day. It reminds me of the private eye from 5FM. I don't remember what you're talking about here, but okay. You know, it's just often you live in your own environment. You live with the people you already know. You think, I've got a good grip on humanity. And you hear a clip like that and you realize, no, there are people who live on the edge of society and civilization, on the edge of decency. There are people like that, and you've got to remind yourself that you're going for a romantic stroll with your girlfriend down the beach, and the guy who's walking towards you is looking to fuck a penguin.
I kind of feel like the way that that's delivered, that it's real. Because firstly, the accent.
Yeah, I think it's real.
That's someone who's seen hard times and seen rough things.
Yes. Yeah.
And the tempo of the story would suggest that they weren't trying to deliver a punchline. They were literally retelling.
And I think the fact that he said it happened in the 70s is a sure clue that it's probably real, because that was also a really rough time, you know? You're going back now into the age of quite a lot of depravity. The 70s were not, by any stretch of the imagination, awesome and excellent all the time.
Wow.
So there we are. I mean, Why not start your Friday with something truly thought-provoking? People often say, oh, we need more political analysis, we need philosophy, we need to drill deep and have meaningful conversations. And I say sometimes you need the guy who fucks a penguin. That's my philosophy for this morning.
Sorry, dead penguin.
Yeah. The new trend is to shout "sir" in public and watch the reaction. That's common sense. I heard there was a trend. Let me just figure this out in my head because I heard about this trend the other day. There's this thing that the kids are doing now. It's some kind of attention-seeking thing where they also like run into a room and say stuff. Again, all we need here is just a couple of those Builders Warehouse lesbians to just like, as the kid comes in to scream and get attention, give them a clap.
Yeah,
everything. You can sort out two things. That she can get rid of the aggression. The kid can be put in its place. Everybody wins.
Clapped with a Roman's pizza box.
There we go. just clapped. Private Eye from 5FM was Sasha and Ian F. Okay, I don't know. I don't remember that.
Telling dodgy stories.
Probably. And they were very good at that. I remember their show, but I don't remember what it was called there. 70s produced the best music. Chris trying to fight for the 70s here. Chris, sure. But in light of what you've just heard, does that not pale into comparison? I mean, any kind of comparison. Reality shock from Rebellious Ruth. Wake up to the real world. People need to be in the present. If you can live like that, all will be good. Do you mean like the people in the clip we played? What's the context for this?
Look, if it comes down to the definition of living in the present, fucking a dead penguin is pretty much up there. Because the guy is literally seizing the moment. He's not going to I'll come back next week. It's like he can't. That's the time. That dead penguin's not getting any less rancid.
I've never thought about dead penguins before, but I kind of feel sorry for them now. If there are people like this walking around, the indignity, really. You know? Anyway, I did think that we needed to start there. Now, let's get into some serious shit this morning because we've got important stuff to discuss. I want to start off because someone said in the comment section there's a lot of noise and nonsense going down between the taxi industry and the e-hailing industry, which is like Ubers and
Can you call the taxi industry, or is it a cartel?
Well, it is a
terminology
cartel.
is important.
Look, chaos erupted at Maponya Mall this week. Tensions between taxis and e-hailing drivers boiled over. On Wednesday night, apparently, 2 assailants opened fire on ride-hailing services. That means drivers outside the mall. One was killed, another wounded. Both vehicles were set ablaze, prompting furious Soweto residents. Now, the Soweto residents, this is interesting, they took to defending the e-hailing services, right? So the furious Soweto residents blocked roads with rocks and barricaded the mall. Demanding safety, the community is calling for taxis to be barred from the premises and for immediate action from both mall management and the authorities. Emotions are high. Police are investigating. Maponya Mall, the heart of Soweto, remains ominously closed. So interesting that the people of Soweto decided, the people who shop at that mall, fine, you're going to shoot and burn our e-hailing drivers. We're going to close down your mall.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that because, I mean, taxi drivers have had their own law. They are their own law.
They do. Yeah.
But e-hailing is great because, firstly, people can actually be e-hailing operators. That's employment.
You can see when your car's coming. You know what you're being charged.
But sometimes you want to have your own space. Now, the taxi industry is saying, no, you always have to be in a shitty taxi.
No, you must get into our sardine tin and you must be squeezed in.
People deserve choice.
They must be treated badly.
They make their own money. They work hard. They do whatever. They must be allowed to do that. It's very disparaging to think that, no, because you're here in Soweto, you must only be in a taxi.
No, I think I'm with the residents of Soweto pissed off here. And I've stood up for the taxi industry on occasion because they are a kind of law unto themselves, but they also, I'll never forget during those riots how they came to the protection and service of ordinary South Africans. They stood up for citizens,
no doubt,
against a rampaging mob. So, again, you say that you're with the mob this time, you're not with the mob the previous time. This is the problem with mobs is they're completely
But like mobs,
devoid of any general intelligence.
yeah, it's tricky.
So you find sometimes the mob is on your side, and then you think, oh, well, not a bad mob. But I've said this before on the show a million times. I think in a previous life, if there is such a thing, I was attacked by a mob. I just detest a mob. I can't stand a mob.
Well, they can't be trusted. They're very
Very bad
predictable.
thing. A
But
group
also-
think and
But we just got to understand that we must embrace diversity in every single thing. There's diversity in transport as well. People's needs are
you need it.
You need this kind of
Choices.
stuff. It's not going to
Choices.
put taxis out of business. E-hailers can only pick up so many people, right? It's a very small kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not going to suddenly just take your lunch. The majority of people can only afford taxis. It's reality. They'll use taxis. Reality.
Sure.
If 100 people a day want to use the e-hailing thing, let them.
Yeah, and frankly, I think transport in this country is so expensive. There are people who spend almost half of what they earn in a month just getting to and from work, which is ludicrous.
Ridiculous.
And I know that for many people they don't have a choice, and that is the fault of our government. That they've never put good public service in place. We don't have trains anymore, so you can't use trains to get into towns. And I think this is the only option people have. So they don't use taxis because they want to. Anyway, so that's something important. Let's just talk about New Zealand. You mentioned them in the sport earlier. They seem to have made the news. Apparently, a minister from the Israeli government has hit out against the New Zealand government. So I'm going to read her statement here quickly.
Well, this all comes in the back of Australia recognizing Palestine as a state.
That's right. That's right.
The New Zealand Prime Minister person.
He's a guy called Luxon.
Yeah, he's having a go at the fact.
Mr. Luxon.
He's having a go at the fact that it's so frustrating what's happening to the people.
Is he
of
the guy who
Gaza.
took over from Jacinda Ardern? Must be.
I think there was a guy even in between that.
Oh, right. Because are they like
Well,
Australia
they're
where
all
they new prime minister
super
every couple?
simps.
Right.
Super simps.
Yeah. New Zealand is probably Canada's up there too, but I'd say New Zealand. I'd say Keir Starmer in Britain. We spoke about him. You got to give him an honourable or dishonourable mention when it comes to being simpy. You got all these kind of pasty, performative actor type politicians.
Plants. Industry plants.
Yeah,
plants.
these are not leaders by any stretch of the imagination. I think they tick boxes for some HR department, and then they get pushed into the role. And I mean, these are not strong guys at all. These are the kind of guys, ladies, who would say, if they would never offer to take you out for dinner, you'd have to say to them, "Can we go out for dinner?" And then they'd say to you, "Sure, darling. Where would you like to go?" And then you'd spend half an hour ruminating about potential outcomes, and it would never happen. You'd never end up going out for dinner because these guys cannot be trusted to make
you
a
would
decision.
never fuck because you'd be still asking about positions and
Yeah, terrible people.
all these things.
These are the kind of men no one on earth asked for.
So, I mean, he's one of those guys that I believe, like, these memos go out around the world. Okay, guys, you must be inflamed about this. You must protest
Right.
this. You must emphatically support this.
Right.
And I think he's one of those guys who just gets that memo and goes, right, guys, New Zealand is really upset about Gaza.
Yeah, and I mean, you could not be further from Gaza than in New Zealand. No one in Gaza could point to New Zealand on a map, and probably vice versa. Anyway, so somebody then asks him to comment on this, and he says something about, well, we're going to support Gaza, but in a New Zealand accent, which is much worse.
International community is very frustrated by this, as we as international community.
Stop the killing, that kind of thing.
all this stuff, yeah.
Yeah, people who aren't involved in this in any way, just strong-arming like Greta Thunberg their way into it for relevance. So the Israeli's Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs replies to him like this. She goes, I'm not going to do the Israeli accent because I can't really do it properly, but I guess when you don't need an army because your most deadly enemy is a possum or cat, you wouldn't comprehend the challenges that come with facing Hamas, a jihadist death cult only a few kilometers away from your country that rape, execute, burn alive, and starve your people, she wrote on social media. And I like that. That's strong.
Cutting. Again,
Possum or a cat.
I think in this conversation, it's not about what's happening in Gaza per se right now. I think it's countries that just get on with their own shit. If you feel so strongly about something, which is fine, it's great, then call up the UN or whoever it is and say, okay, right, I'm coming to Gaza. What can I do?
Right.
How can I
Get
help?
involved.
What can I do? If you're in another country, shut your mouth. Tend to your residents, your citizens,
Yeah.
make your country function and all that kind of stuff. Be the example you want the rest of the world
You're
to
asking
be.
too much. I wouldn't even expect that of the kind of people who get upset about this stuff. How about just tidying up outside your own front door? That would be a great start. How about cleaning the fucking takeaway packets out of your car?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you that the people who they're trying to project their I'm a good person stuff
All it comes down
so
to.
far away because their own life is just in disorder and chaos. So if you can prove to me that you don't live in your own ordure, that you have a clean environment around you, that you actually put your clothes in the washing, that you wash them, that your bed isn't smeared in, I don't know, applesauce or something, that your car isn't caked in sugary drink, then I'll take you seriously. I think in future, anyone who protests, we need to see the inside of their car, the inside of their bed, their dwelling. We need to know what kind of circumstances these people live in. And then if it's tidy and it seems in order, then we'll tolerate you. We'll treat you seriously.
It's like the woman
Listen to you.
Like that woman on the show last week so eloquently put it in Australia. It's like sort of things out in your own fucking country.
Right.
And
Have you got that clip of that woman again?
She was very inflamed, I think, for the right reasons.
That Aboriginal woman from Australia who had quite a lot to say last week. I admire her energy as well.
She sums up the situation really well. At no stage is she making light of the situation in Gaza, but she's bringing home what really matters in her world.
Yes.
And I think so many people, it's just noise. They outsource all this shit like, oh yeah, Gaza. Then go fucking do something about it.
Right.
Don't ruin people's lives here who may or may not care. Like, that's also a
I've
choice
forgotten
they're
about her.
allowed.
Flex, you want me to send you that again? Okay. Just in case they didn't. Because she did. I do think it's worth
I think
replaying.
she sums
that.
it up, and I think
Yeah.
this could go to the New Zealand
This
Prime
is the
Minister.
leader that places like Australia and New Zealand, these, as you call them, simp countries, this is what they need.
Yeah.
They need more of this woman that I'll show you now.
Stop fixating on diplomacy and narratives and
Correct.
get to the heart of people's masses.
Okay, I found her. Okay, and Flex, I also sent you a picture of King Charles. This is an actual news headline from somewhere in Britain. Again, it seems to me like a lot of these countries, they're so busy worrying about everywhere else in the world, they're not tending to their own stuff. For example, here's King Charles. This is the headline. You got it? There. King Charles has diarrhea.
Happens.
Look at it. He's even embarrassed to be in that picture. I mean, what a thing to
It's
say.
quite a diarrhea face. Also, a very bold suit color for a man that's got a leaky bum. I probably would have gone with something of a darker shade personally.
So I gotta ask, that's a very low rent headline.
Is it even a headline? I can make that on Instagram. Where's that from?
I don't know, Ben. It was posted by somebody I don't follow bullshit people on X. I follow serious journalists.
That looks like fake news. I mean, I would
think it's
obviously say King Charles has diarrhea. Obviously, he's a vegan. He's old. Camilla's probably like roofing him. I wouldn't trust his bowels on a long road trip. Granted, but that doesn't look like a real news story.
Okay, so we'll do it. You know what? In the interests of us maintaining our credibility as a serious news organization, I think we'll just pretend that didn't happen then. We'll disregard it as being fake news.
Cool. That's what we're here for. Balance.
King Charles has diarrhea. That's an actual headline to some people, not to... Look at that. It's unbelievable.
I can't remember the last time I ever had diarrhea. I've got to say, it must be a horrible thing, especially on a weekend. Can't go anywhere because you can't trust your arsehole.
All right, thank you very much. That's our first hour. We've still got a whole other hour coming your way in the next couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Fucking government? The English don't protest about England here. The Asians don't protest about China or Japan here. Do they? But the Palestinians, they come here, they're bringing their shit here, and they're protesting about their fucking country. Here, we gotta have problems. Fucking idiots!
2007. It was a special time in South African rugby. For the first time ever, two local teams contested a Super Rugby final. Jake White to be making steady progress with a Bok team that was starting to threaten, and all of this was pointing towards the Rugby World Cup in France. A star-studded team of hopefuls aside, the Springboks also had a leader that many felt could take this team to new heights. That man was, of course, John Smit. Not since Francois Pienaar in the 90s had a Bok captain cut such a mighty figure in leading his nation into battle. And with expectations of millions, he was about to create a very special moment in Springbok history. This is a 2007 Rugby World Cup show with John Smit. Let's get into it.
I get that. I also was around in that time when ZAR was open, when they had Rivonia on deck, when they were driving around in drop-top Aston Martins and spraying girls with champagne, when they were eating sushi off girls.
In Cape Town.
Bro, these guys were like the anti-follow the rules. They were rebels.
Yeah.
And they would say a lot of disgusting stuff, especially on Twitter. Besides the racist stuff, racial stuff, as big as I team. They would say stuff like about women's genitalia and men's genitalia. You know, when someone is just crude about the stuff they say, almost to get a reaction. They were actually open chats of 2013.
Hey! Ah! Ah! No, mfana. No, wrong, mfana.
Phela mina ngiyinsizwa mina. Ngiyinsizwa.
All right, good morning. It is Friday, the 15th of August. We are live. Next week, our Friday show becomes a 3-hour-long show, which you can join the fun in on, and you can spread it across the whole week if you'd like. You know, get in there and treat yourself to half an hour a day if you don't like the fact that we're not doing 5 days a week anymore. It's very exciting. Lots of changes happening. All right. Let's just take a look. You might have seen the clip of that woman from Australia that we played at the end of the last hour. Some comments here. Bitcoin Butt says that lady's very disrespectful. That is the future doctors that she's yelling at. And then Jody Smith says, wow, now Lady Pandor looks worse than usual in that clip about Palestine. As Ben said, done a bit of an about turn. Don't mess with that, auntie, says Tracy Bart. You know, what we're looking for in the world, and I haven't been serious at all this morning. I don't want to start now, but there are two qualities that I think are the most in demand right now in the commercial world. If you're looking for a job, because people are always going, I want to work in X, Y, or Z. I want to be rich. I want to make money. I want to be successful. Who doesn't? I've never met anyone who goes, no, you know what? I'd like to be unsuccessful. So what are the two things that I've identified? And you may agree or disagree with me. I'd like to hear from you in the comments. Number one is drive. The drive, the actual ability to get up and make shit happen, right? Execute on stuff. Drive is very rare quality. A lot of people are good at implementing other people's plan. They go through the motions. They tick the boxes. They get a few things done, but the truly driven person who pulls everyone with them, that drive is a very rare quality and much in demand at the moment in society. And the other one is courage. And that woman in that clip reminds me of both. She clearly, I mean, sitting there with that cigarette, she's obviously got a very, I wouldn't be surprised if she's the chairman of the Bank of Australia.
Should be.
And if she isn't, she should be. You're right.
Well, guys, together with those, I think it goes without saying, it's just honesty. It's like people honestly don't care about these things.
She has that too.
The politicians have to subscribe to these things.
Yes.
But the average person out there who is just trying to live their life and provide, they don't give a shit about other countries. Why should they, actually, to be honest with you?
No. I have not thought about Sudan once in the last 6 months. Not once.
It feels like a luxury of time. Who's got time for that?
Well, that you use the word luxury. It's interesting. Luxury beliefs. I got into a huge thing on Instagram yesterday. Well, it wasn't really a huge thing because there was no one else involved. I created this crisis in my head and decided to, where I would have written a blog for, sort of 8-page blog. I just decided to post some stuff on Instagram about what's happening in Europe at the moment because it's a disaster. Again, it's the politicians. It's not the people of these countries that have led to this disaster. It's the politicians. So the Brits are particularly pissed off this week because the Conservative Party released a list of the benefits that illegal immigrants, refugees, asylum seekers, call them what you will, they're getting this list of things that includes piano lessons, free food delivered to their houses, free transport to their appointments. I mean, you'd think that it was King Charles with diarrhea, the way that they're laying on public service for these people who've literally crossed the channel in rubber dinghies. They get everything for free. They get free sports training for their kids. They get French lessons. These are things that, I mean, the average British person born in the country in 1900 would have been lucky to get a handful of gravel from the government. And now they're handing out all this stuff to every illegal immigrant. And the people of Britain are furious. They've had enough. They're like, this is it. And I don't know what's going to happen there, but it's not going to be good.
I don't understand where it comes from.
It comes from politicians.
Yeah, I know, but like, who is telling these politicians to do these things?
Okay, so this is what I wrote about, and I don't want to paraphrase it, so I'm actually going to read it from my post because
It doesn't ever seem in these
I thought
countries.
about it, so I wrote this down.
In the country's interest to do these things, but yet these politicians are being very strident about it.
Let me hear your comments on this, Ben. So here we are. I'll start with this one. Multiculturalism has made Europe demonstrably worse in every way and in every metric. Multiculturalism is a miserable failure. Time to end this farce and to stop pretending, because that's really what it is.
Yeah.
By the way, I just got to say, Ketsi, best producer, really put James in the shade this week. You can bring it and say hello while you're there. It's,
Look, I don't know.
He's
I
in
don't
a
want to be
hoodie,
the
so
person
you won't be
saying
able
it.
to tell who it is. But
I
he's a
didn't want to
real
be the
person.
person saying it.
Great cup of coffee that he made in our special barista machine. I mean,
He offered me as well.
Has this ever happened while James has been on the show? No.
I've never once been offered coffee
No.
as a guest.
No, neither have I. As the host, for fuck's sake. As the boss. I get nothing here. Flex, this is unprecedented, right? Okay. So multiculturalism. We were talking about something serious, but I'm just going to get this off my chest. So here you asked, why is this happening? Why did this happen? Who caused this to take place? So I surmise from reading a lot of history books and paying attention to politics since about the age of 12, the unearned moral superiority of Western liberals has given them the impression that infantilizing the rest of the world and showing maternal compassion to immigrants would earn them gratitude and respect. It hasn't. It has undermined the national identity and resulted in stupid luxury beliefs that no longer correlate with reality. That's what I think it is.
Well said.
The sad thing is that major European cities, once the idyll of civilization and sophistication, are now grimy, graffiti-scrawled crime hotspots where knife-wielding children and homeless drug addicts compete for dominance. This is not untrue. I happen to have received posting this from a lot of friends who are traveling Europe at the moment. Paris looks revolting. London is just disgusting. People are scrawled graffiti everywhere. Grimy, dirty, filthy, not particularly respectable. And that saddens me because these places are places I love to visit, and that the rest of the world does too. France has, I think, more tourism than any other country in the world. And we'll talk about flying business class in a moment, because Ben has discovered something quite interesting there. But who wants to go and see a place that has been strewn with the feces of homeless people and hypodermic needles and graffiti of Free Palestine on statues and monuments?
So going back to what you were saying about that woman who she's got drive and courage and honesty.
She would run Australia like a well-oiled ship.
If we're really honest, who wants to go to Paris, but Paris with multiculturalism trumping Frenchness? Who wants to go to Italy?
No one.
Where you can't buy
No one.
pasta anymore,
No.
but you can get kebabs. Well, I know this is a very controversial stance because people always say you've got to give people chances. Everyone needs a chance to live the life they want to do. Everyone's got rights. Cool. In your own country, let's base that. Let's make it strong. Let's make everything great again. Countries, right?
Right.
Countries are great things.
Well,
multiculturalism is great when you come together in natural situations.
Well, let's just take this country because it brings it closer to home, and
So
people might be able to
just
understand.
Before you get this is why I struggle with this, because this country's got great multiculturalism because it's also made in a very weird sense. Those countries are all very established and old. Things have happened there over long periods of time.
My problem is, okay, if you go, a place has to have character.
Yes.
It has to have an identity.
Yes.
Okay, now South Africa does have, as a part of our fabric, a kind of a multiculturalism that I agree with you works.
That's our identity.
But if you look, for example, at the shopping malls or strip malls in South Africa and the Chinese shops that are in there, they have no culture or soul or anything. And I mean, this is not a dig at China, but those shops are just filled with shit, and they have it's neon lights, feels like a hospital. Everything is just cheap and nasty.
Remember that Rivonia Mall where the old studios were? It used to be a nice mall, and then it became...
It used to be a nice... It had places with character in it where, like...
local barbers and cool
old
shops.
white men and black men used to sit and drink together.
Yeah.
At dirty sleeper railway... It had character.
It felt like Joburg.
Right. And... there were people who made stuff, and there were curio places, and now it's all just shit that's come off a shipping container from Beijing. It's revolting, and that has no character, and that is the multiculturalism that some people crow about. That's not multiculturalism. I think that you can get it right, but you have to have honest politicians, you have to have a national identity, you have to be able to discern what is worth keeping and what is worth throwing away.
And that's what natural order does.
Britain and Europe are throwing away the only things that make them interesting and replacing it with stuff you can get in any shitty, rundown city anywhere in the world. That's what saddens me. Gareth, you know history. When and where in history has multiculturalism really worked? It hasn't really, because people like to be around what is familiar to them. The whole point of culture, and in South Africa we do have many cultures. I would say we are many-cultured rather than multicultured, because you don't have people trying to absorb a bit of Zulu culture into Afrikaans culture or vice versa. But the cultures respect each other. Yeah, so we have a whole bunch of them. And I went to the Voortrekker Monument on Sunday. My mother made a speech there about Eugene Marais, the famous Afrikaans writer. It was great to see that they're maintaining that they're looking after it, that there's a pride in their history. I know in KwaZulu-Natal there are many places where people speak the most pure form of isiZulu. They practice cultural rituals that have been practiced for some 200 years or more. There's great pride in that, and I think it's terrific. So when you go there, that's what you're getting, a taste of the real. We have a Durban Indian community who are... There's a culture that's entirely unique anywhere in the world that is developed there. These are all good things. These are things that make our country interesting. Nowhere in the world has multiculturalism, in other words, throwing everything into the pot, ever worked. All it produces is this run-down, watered-down hybrid that doesn't really have any value. So you ask the question, there isn't an answer.
I think that's so well put. Many cultures over multicultured.
Yeah.
Because multicultural is like, guys, we're all the same. No, we are fucking not, and that's what makes
People
us
don't
great.
want that. People want their people.
Yeah. Be your people.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of having a history, tradition, culture, music, art, all the things that we regard as being important. Like if you didn't have any work to do, what would you spend your time doing? Probably a lot of those would be cultural pursuits, right? And those cultural pursuits have to have value for you. If the government tells you they're not valuable, and we've just got to be Europe, what does Europe mean? I mean, the Germans have hated the French for 1,000 years. Now you want me to believe they're the same? They're not the same.
Bollocks.
The French hate everyone. The French hate everybody. They really do. They have no time for anyone. Have you ever had a conversation with a Frenchman who did not look at you with an air of superiority? They hate you, especially if you speak English.
Exactly.
You order something from a French waiter that, you disgust me.
I'm going through the Wilbur Smith
You know?
era now where the French are fighting the British in all over the place. And the hatred and where
Christ.
it comes from.
The English and the French, they called it the 100 Years' War, but it was even longer than 100 years. They thought, well, we'll round it off. They hated each other solidly on the battlefield for 100 years. Just murderous with medieval weapons. Don't tell me that now, well, we're all part of Europe. It's not true. Okay.
There's just something so beautiful about culture.
Yes,
And
it's exciting.
If we can focus on that and everyone be their culture, natural order would suggest who mixes best and who does things with other things.
You know,
voice
we have in
shit
South
on us.
Africa, we have a Cape-colored community that are entirely indigenous. They didn't originate from anywhere else. You can say there's influences of Malay, there's influences of
Dutch.
white settlers. You could say there's influence of the Khoisan and of black people in the province and all these things. But essentially, like the Cape Coloreds are totally indigenous. They were invented here in South Africa. That whole culture and everything that goes with it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's plenty of that in every culture, right? Every culture has things that we're proud of, things that we're not so proud of. But that is, to me, an example of something we got to hold on to.
Absolutely.
It's special, man.
Absolutely.
And from the stuff that pisses Gayton off in his tirade against these podcasters, I still haven't heard it, by the way, but I saw Warris talking about it the other day, and I thought he made a very good point. It's really fun to do this stuff. It is not a source for us to disparage each other. Not by trying to make everybody the same and equal. All you're going to do is piss everyone off. People, they like a little bit of identity. Don't take that away from them.
It's also a bit insulting to think that your culture must be like that culture, or let's help you be more like us. That's all
Well, it's
bullshit.
patronizing,
It's
right?
so patronizing. No, everyone must be who they are and be fucking proud of it.
Speaking of patronizing, I do want to get to this. So we haven't finished with Sydney Sweeney, and I would rather talk about her than politics. So I do want to bring this to your attention. I've seen, and again, you can never say correlation is causation, but I have seen a pattern developing. So pop up the picture of Sydney Sweeney that I sent you, Flex. This is an interesting talking point that and then I'll show you a comment.
So just first up, Gareth, in my culture, Sydney Sweeney's hot.
Yeah, well, I think for you would have to be blind and possibly have been tortured and abused as a child to have any idea other than this.
I wouldn't say she's classically beautiful, but
No,
she's
hot.
She's a
There's a
hot,
difference between sexy and beautiful.
attractive
Yeah.
woman.
Okay, so it says here, there's a New York Post, a newspaper, right? These used to be credible sources of information, and maybe it still is, who knows. Only 12% of people find Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad offensive. 12% of people. So someone went onto one of the AI search engine type things, found this comment. 12%, don't forget that number, all
Key
right?
number here, yeah.
12% of people were upset. So then someone asked, I think this is ChatGPT, about the US percentage of obese women who primarily speak English. And they found it is exactly 12.5% of the total US population. Now, again, correlation is not causation, but don't tell me there isn't some relationship between the 12% of people who found Sydney Sweeney offensive and the 12.5% of American women who are obese.
Yeah. Well, look, I can't fight those numbers. I have nothing else to say.
No. Or the battle mastodons that make up the 12%.
I mean, I saw some posts, and like there are these fat women pulling Zap signs at Sydney Sweeney billboards and shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Get a life.
They feel superior
firstly,
for that moment.
get a diet, but then get a life.
Yeah.
Like, really.
Really, I think you should pipe down if you're that fat. You should just pipe down. You've got a lot of work to do on yourself before you start worrying about advertising campaigns. Honest to God, the process of happiness and change begins with you. Pipe down, get yourself sorted out, and then we can start shouting and screaming about what you think is appropriate and what the rest of us should be doing.
These are the same horrible
Just pipe
mess
down.
of people.
And frankly, there are people starving in the world. Don't you feel bad about how much you consume?
yeah.
It's revolting. Get some self-control. You're really making a great nuisance of yourself. And they're loud. I mean, these people are criticizing Sydney Sweeney. She's this slightly bimbo-esque but very attractive girl who's been in a couple of TV shows and movies.
I would say she's just doe-eyed. I wouldn't say she's
Doe-eyed,
bimbo-ish,
that's a very good. You're doe-eyed. So,
which would give the perception, but she's
sure.
not. Yeah.
But honestly, the amount of the vitriol that has been brought about by this ad campaign, you would swear that she'd poked a red hot poker into everybody's eye. There's Greta Thunberg. We saw the Beyonce one the other day. There's lots of these, but there we are. Yeah, that would probably go down very well with those ugly people. It's all ugly people. Honestly, again, you can tell a lot about someone's motivation just from how they look.
Gareth, I'd like to keep it a little
I judge a book by its cover.
I'd like to keep it a bit lighter on a Friday. Ugly
Go on,
people.
Ben.
It's not a death sentence. You can still work on yourselves. Sometimes you're not
I
ugly.
don't know why
you
you're
just-
mentioning it on this show. None of our people are revolting. None of our people are.
No, you're
ugly.
right. But I mean, ugly people might get incensed and
I've
come
never
here
met
to
an
get
ugly
angry.
person in real life. I've only seen them on social media. I've never met them. I don't interact with them in any way. Never met an ugly person. Seen them on like pictures and videos and clips. In fact, that's why I send them to you. I'm so horrified. I go, look at this. There are people who look like that. That's unbelievable. And I send it to you or I put it on the show. I don't encounter these people in real life. I manage to give them a wide berth for some reason. And sometimes you have to because their circumference is so great. Gareth, have you ever considered becoming a fluffer in the film industry? It's a job that has a lot of drive, brings happiness to many. I suppose this has to do with my comment about success and drive.
Certainly takes courage.
It does take courage, but I thought about that. Is it Bonnie Blue or
Yes.
Bonnie Blue? And I thought that has got to be just the most demoralizing thing. You know, even if it was, let's say there's a guy and I'm the fluffer for all the girls, getting them ready. I could not do it. It would be demoralizing. I mean, I think porn is. I think it's kind of sad. I think it's sad once the cameras switch off, the lights switch off. You're in a big warehouse. Everybody feels dirty. I just think it's a bad vibe. I wouldn't want to be a fluffer. I wouldn't want to be involved in that industry at all. Focus on your own country, says Huge Erection. Put it first, just like Donald. Don't forget, they live in 4-star hotels. That's the immigrants. Sorry. No, Ben, it is not in the country's interests. It's what people decide in conference talk shops like the WEF.
Yes.
Here's limited edition saying, I'm black. I'm black. And once I was a waiter and was ill-treated by a fellow black patron. He ate the food. When he had to pay for the bill, he said he didn't order the food. We're a sad generation with happy faces. Yeah, but again, he was just a dick. It didn't matter that he was black or white. If someone doesn't pay for something, they're a dick.
Yeah. Which exists across all cultures.
Fluffers are out of work since Viagra, says Mo Rabbit. This is why we need to visit. Carl wants to visit the show. I need an ugly person with more confidence than my aesthetic follows or allows. You're welcome. Carl, I think we must get you on. Come and join us one morning. If you're as ugly as you claim to be, we may learn a lot. This could be the breakthrough moment for us.
You got to bring stuff though, Carl. You got to bring things of value.
Ugliness is a big.
The wise men arrive with frankincense, gold, and myrrh. What do porers arrive with? Pregos and
chorizo. Cape colored is
Three
like
poorer
the
men.
Canis africanus. It's the natural product of DNA blend, unfiltered and unengineered, says Chris. Sounds a little eugenic. I mean, I'm not criticizing you with like an American Eagle ad here, but you know, you're saying like a dog, unnecessary, bad metaphor. And we've had some good metaphors on this morning's show, so the standard is high. Yonder says, I started off that Sydney Sweeney ad and it was worth it. You know, I don't know what you started, but I'm let other people connect those dots. Gareth, I dare you to run a poll in the chats about the feeling we have about one show a week. All right. We'll have you put up a poll. It could be 99.9% of the people are opposed to it. It's change a thing, but let's go. Flex, put on a poll. Let them think you have the illusion of democracy. This is how you think it's going to work. All right, so we're going to have a poll now. If the poll results are that 100% I must do 5 shows a week, then I'll do it. Let's see how that goes, all right? Go and vote. Can you make a poll? All right, lovely. Thanks, guys. They really are good, hey? James would have taken another 10 minutes, I'm telling you.
Finding him.
He did send me a picture of that famous traffic light in Jeffreys Bay. You know, they have the one traffic light. They're very proud of it. It's the only one in the whole town.
Wow.
And he sent it to me like you would send a picture of
Is that where he proposed?
the Champs-Élysées.
I guess that's
if you
where
were
you
in
propose
Paris.
in Jeffreys if you go
I
propose.
think you'd propose at the traffic light. It's such a tourist attraction. You know what, Ben? That's fucking racist what you said. This is Carl about poras. But I'll bring pastéis de nata and...
Well, there we go, Carl.
Okay.
That was me embracing your culture. I wasn't being racist. I didn't say poras can't bring anything nice. That would be racist.
Yeah, that would be. That would actually
I just
be much
said you got to
worse.
bring something
Much
of value.
worse. I'll bring pastéis de nata, and he says, and soap.
See,
But you didn't invent soap.
speaking of soap and Sydney Sweeney, you know,
Yes, go.
And these fucktards who go on about this American Eagle. When you create a great campaign, you want people to talk about it and create other hype for you. So
Sure.
they do all your work for you, right?
Yes,
you create
correct.
this, user-generated content creates this, and you get this massive. It's a win. So this company created Sydney Sweeney bathwater soap.
Oh, that's very, very funny.
And I think it was limited edition, like 500 bars. You could literally wash yourself with her bathwater. Creepy, but you can see where the appeal comes, right?
Well, the guy with the penguin earlier this morning would be
A guy
at front of
fucked a
the
dead
front of the
penguin,
queue.
Gareth.
He'd be
Washing with Sydney Sweeney's bathwater,
he'd be in the-
drop in
in
the
the-
ocean, literally, compared to the previous story.
Yeah. Look, there is always going to be a bottom of the market, right? Like there are always going to be people, creepy, weird people who will shell out inordinate amounts of money for stuff that really no one should be buying. But if you can sell it to them, is it immoral of you to sell your bathwater to creeps, or is it immoral of them to
I just
buy
think it's
your
a
bath?
really fun.
I mean-
again, people like Sydney Sweeney make people feel better. We've had this conversation many times
Sure.
because she's hot.
Sure.
Let's all feel happy around hot people and stuff.
Yeah, we've seen
It's
all the
obviously
research.
not her
yeah.
bathwater.
Sure.
She hasn't sit in the bath stewing for an hour to make soap with glycerine and shit. It's just a fun product. If I just see Sydney Sweeney's bathwater soaps in a shop, I'd buy it, and then that's what your Christmas present would be. And then we'd both laugh, and it'd be a happy moment, and we'd carry
that's
on with our
true,
lives.
yeah. Okay. We're getting some suggestions here. If Ben got transplants for Carl's back hair, he'd have afro by now. That's
Yeah.
according. Wow. Okay.
Well, I guess that's just another sort of nuance of the industry, maybe. Start mining poorer hair.
Farming poras,
Yeah.
effectively.
So you have a shop front with 2 entrances. Poorer donors and then bald recipients. Oh, what a shop that would be.
What would you call
Whatever Portuguese for in and out is.
it? Give us the Portuguese for in and out. Let's call it that. Oh, that sounds great. All right. Some other stuff that is in the news. We have to pay attention to a little bit of news. So this is quite important, I would think. Vladimir Putin, is reportedly bringing along a poo suitcase to his peace talks with Donald Trump in Alaska. The two of them are meeting. It's just Putin and Trump. They're meeting in Alaska. Tremendous place, Alaska. Meanwhile, Zelensky's going to visit Keir Starmer. Again, like, what's the real show? What's the side show? You know, it's just Zelensky should stay the hell away from all these European leaders. They're not helping his situation. They're making it worse. What's Keir Starmer going to promise? That he'll send him a couple of rubber dinghies or free horse riding lessons, and who knows. Anyway, Vladimir Putin is bringing a poo suitcase. This is what they tell us. According to Lad Bible, I mean, reputable news source, one of Putin's elite bodyguards will literally be lugging around his stool and urine in a bulletproof case just in case some spy tries a chemical analysis. Talk about taking health privacy to the next level, they say. Even Stalin apparently did something similar decades ago. Keep your toilet drama, and Putin's coming with it. So,
sorry, for a more average brain, connect the dots to me.
Okay,
Why would he need his DNA in?
So no. So what they do is they take a suitcase, and then when Putin takes a shit in the Alaskan toilet, instead of him taking it in the toilet, he'll take it in a pan, and they will take the shit back with him.
And then keep
They
his-
don't want
oh.
someone to get any handle on his DNA or figure out anything about his biology just from him leaving a
Gotcha.
stool in
Makes sense.
the Alaskan
Yep,
loo.
gotcha.
Because, you know, Donald Trump, the one thing we know about him, crafty man. I want the CIA to check out that turd. Got to find out everything we can about the turd. That's what the Russians genuinely think is going to happen. And of course, the urine as well. So they'll take back a little bottle with the urine. This is all very normal for paranoid leaders like Vladimir Putin. So I don't know how it actually works. There must be some humiliation involved with him taking a shit in a pan, right?
I think it's another ego trip, huh?
I mean, I wouldn't want.
Imagine thinking you're so important that you can't actually put your waste into the ether, so to speak.
You're too important.
Too important for your turds to be with other
Right.
turds.
Okay. So we give you a lot of shit about the size of your head,
Yeah, fair.
but there's a 34-year-old Essex mum. You know, these British women who are constantly going for surgeries. Bless you. Her name is Chloe Walker. She spent £5,000 on forehead reduction surgery. So she obviously had a long forehead. Maybe her hair started here. Yeah, it's unfortunate for a woman because I think it's harder for them if they have receding hairlines or
Yeah.
very big foreheads. They call
Hugely.
it what do they call it? A five head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's lived, this poor woman, my heart goes out to her. She lived with anxiety about her forehead since her childhood. She's tried to grow the long fringe, you know, the kind of
Yeah.
feminist fringe, the one
Yeah.
that's square here.
Yeah.
She's tried that. She's tried the hairspray, big in the 80s, a lot of poofiness, doesn't help. She's even edited family photos. She still hasn't, by the way, ever posted her wedding pics because she's too embarrassed about the five head. But she says she feels instantly happier. And she can play in the pool with her kids. She can brush her hair back without stressing.
This is what I was saying. Ugly isn't a death sentence.
Right, you can do
Just go spend
everything.
some money.
I've never heard of a forehead reduction surgery. Have we got a picture of her? I'd love to see what she looks like. Is this now post or pre-surgery?
I think it'll be very easy to tell.
Okay. All right, so let's have a look. But you're right, Ben. I mean, you can do things, you know? You can have things fixed.
Yeah.
You can make yourself better. Or you can make yourself worse. Some people do go out of their way to make themselves worse with the nose ring and the
Also-
tattoo on the face.
But also, that's just poor parenting, right? But that's not a death sentence. Just move away from them. Disown them. If they're a terrible impact on you,
yeah.
get rid of them.
Yeah. And you do have to move on. I have no time. I decided this the other day. No time in my life for people over the age of 35 who still moan about the way they were raised. Like
shouldn't.
by 30, I'd say by 30 even, you should really have started to solve those problems. You should have moved on no matter how horrible that uncle was, no matter what happened to you in your childhood. By 30, you should be making moves to correct this and get away from it and change your circumstance. If you're still moaning about like your mom didn't come to your play recital, your dad didn't play cricket with you, and you're in your 40s, then I really don't have any sympathy for you. I don't.
Yeah, look, it sucks.
terrible.
It sucks in your parents' shit.
Sure.
I'd imagine that would
Sure.
be scarring. But also, you got to ask yourself, what was I doing in my 20s? And when the answer is fucking around, then you got to think, okay, well, how good of a parent would I have been? Like, imagine us.
Hey, at least they had you. They didn't have to have you.
Imagine us raising kids in our 20s. What absolute
Oh my
disasters
God,
we would
no,
have been.
no, drug addicts,
It would have been
probably
horrendous.
obese.
Horrendous.
Just terrible. All right, so have you got a picture of her? Guys, I got to see this woman. I'm very, very excited. Chloe Walker. This will be as exciting for the audience as it is for me because I haven't seen her yet. And Ben reckons we'll be able to tell whether it's a pre or post-op picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be very, very, very obvious.
We had we played a game. I was away with some friends a couple of weeks ago now. It's probably months ago, and we played a game of like you've got 5 seconds to name 3 things, like that start with the letter C or 3 sports or whatever, right? And the one thing that came up was 3 kinds of surgery, and the one guy answered toe surgery. People go for cosmetic toe surgery. We all said bullshit, and then we had to look it up, you know, as part of the rigor of the game, because it was a very serious game. There were points involved.
Well, yeah.
People would go for toe surgery. I've never heard of that.
Well, if you got horrendous toes, what if you got bad bunions?
But surely you just struggle on, really.
Oh,
Among the list of things
then
that are off-putting,
What do you do in summer? You got to wear shoes a whole year.
maybe you have a sarong. You deftly drape a sarong over your appendages.
Fix
Gotta
it.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, I mean, sometimes you just gotta that's your deformity. Everybody has something about themselves they don't like, and that it's worth changing in some cases, and others, let's be fair, Ben, it's not. Sometimes you're stressing about shit you don't need to worry about. Toes, really?
Okay, would you ever date a girl with hammer toes?
I'm not even sure what a hammer toe is, but
Ballerinas, gymnasts, heavily robust-looking feet.
So she's very attractive, but she's got revolting toes.
She's got feet that look like they work in construction. See, the answer's no.
No, I don't think I would be.
Because you've hesitated, the answer's no.
Hold on. I'm going to answer this earnestly.
Want to go to the beach? Calm with you. See,
Pop on the sneakers.
not on the beach. She wants to wear a nice evening gown. No strappy heels coming out in this one.
So you would, in that case, suggest the toe operation?
Yeah.
Because I mean, everything else is. Let's
Look,
imagine everything else is wonderful.
I wouldn't suggest it. It would be her choice and journey.
It's taken me a lot of dates to ever really get to the toe, whether or not I do an evaluation of the toes. I'm just saying, I think on the list of things that would put me off, the toes are not in the top 10. Really. This is the first time I thought about it. So there we go. What about a good foot binding and get on with it like the Japanese, says Slippery Pickle. Oh, okay. This is after surgery. That's a hell of a forehead, hey? Even after surgery. That's Chloe, the British woman from Essex. Hey, opa, Chloe.
Yeah. That looks painful. That's all I'm going to say. That looks painful.
It's quite stapley.
As somebody with a fair amount of real estate between my hairline and eyebrows,
You're in a good position to talk about
I
this.
feel her pain.
She doesn't look very happy. I mean, she said she's instantly happy, but those pictures would belie that.
But she's British, so
That's true.
yo, Chloe, that must have been so sore. But good on you. That's definitely. I mean, obviously those stitches and things will.
Fucking hell, I'd love to have
Balance out
seen
a
her
bit.
before the op. I mean, she must have looked like Queen Nefertiti. Have you seen the bust of Queen Nefertiti?
But success story. No, I haven't.
It goes like this. Get up here. It's quite something. All right, well, I want to remove my love handles. Again, Carl dos Santos hopping in here. Is that a bit gay? What do you think, Ben?
No, get rid of those. Carl, just walk a lot for a start.
Really, you don't need surgery.
No, I mean, look, I don't know how fat you are. I also don't know how disciplined you are, so you might actually need surgery. But
How fat?
Just start by doing a lot of walking. A lot of walking. I don't know what your diet is either, but the best way to do it is like that steady state, low cardio bullshit. Don't think you're going to go run the comrades. That'll
Right.
just kill your knees.
Matthew Dixon says, I would be in fear of meeting Gareth's kid he had 30 years ago if he had a kid in his 20s.
Well, he's in Pumalanga. He's got to go find him.
You can go and look. Go and try and find him. Or her. Who knows, Ben? I try to stay away from these things. It, I don't want sleepless nights. It's in the past.
Exactly.
Got to move on. Mapello says, my neighbor's baby was born with a narrow head.
Narrow head.
What, like a forceps birth? They squeezed the head when it was coming out?
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, what is a narrow head? They took him for head reduction, but his head was already narrow.
Yeah,
Where are
but,
they going to put all this stuff?
but if it's narrow, it's probably tall, so you need to scrunch it down a bit.
Oh, so he looks like those.
Double decker bus.
No, but like those Conehead. There was that Coneheads movie, wasn't there?
Yes,
Looks
with
like
Dan
that.
Aykroyd.
Jesus. So they took him for head reduction surgery. They cut a few millimeters of his skull, and his head got back to normal. Well, that's what a happy story. You know, I do like a silver lining on a Friday, especially.
Just keeps
This is
proving the
good.
point. It's all fixable.
This is good.
You can fix everything in life.
Pumlani says, praised the new producer too soon. Takes 7 business working days to load a 5-head pic. Did the size of the head finish the memory space in his computer? Actually, yes, fair enough. Bit of criticism there from Pumlani for you guys. Sorry, guys.
Tough school.
How are the only feet in the office going, says Bitcoin Boot.
I think it's slowed down
It
dramatically.
has slowed down.
Because none of you guys went onto OnlyFeet and paid for the pictures.
That's right. That's true.
So
Had you
you are
paid,
to
yeah, you foot fetish perverts.
you are to blame.
All right, then Chloe can remember what happened tomorrow, according to Matthew Dixon, with that 5-head. What a waste of money. Her forehead is the least of her problems.
Rough.
She should have a fringe cut. You would not see the long. Sharon, you got to pay attention. We did mention that she tried the fringe. Okay. I don't know. You know, I wake up and I slave around this hot fucking desk every Friday now from next week. It's gonna kill me. 3 whole hours once a week. It's gonna tire me
I
out.
say what's going to
And
kill
then you don't listen.
the 3 hours a week, 3 hours a day is going to kill James because James has to work hard.
Oh my god.
Because the show needs to be more produced now.
Yeah. I'm worried about that. It's good that you raise it, Ben. We've got a meeting next week. I think I'll bring it up.
I see things like Minority Report as they happen.
Carl
Ahead of
says,
time.
Gareth, think of Mapello's neighbor's kid's head as a picture that you try to move in Microsoft Word. Congo Chris says, if you don't give us the link, how must we find the feet pics?
It was given in the episode.
It was. We actually
Yeah.
did. Yeah. You know what? Just meet me halfway. Really, I have to spoon feed you guys like retarded children. This is becoming odious. Please, let's just meet me halfway. You know, buy the lotto ticket. Sorry, says Sharon. Too late, Sharon. I cannot be perpetually forgiving. I am not Jesus Christ of Nazareth. At some point, my compassion runs out. But all right, a lot of people asking for more Auntie Ruda. Well, you know what I do think we're going to have?
Not Reader on the show.
We're going to have a lot of reasons to have a lot more fun and laughter and stupidity because I've missed that. I thought the show maybe got a little bit too serious at some point, and I thought, well, this is not the thing I want to do. I want to have fun here. And today's a good example. We've gone from, the crazy to even crazier. Chris says it's called a 3-seps birth with a squeezed head as opposed to a 4-seps birth. Very clever, playing on the 5-head, 4-head. Very, very sharp, Chris. You a writer? Have you tried your hand at fiction? Florid descriptions of, I don't know, interesting things and people and places? Who knows? Karin, very excited, says, keep it crazy, I love it. Can we have Ben and Ass together on a Friday? Ass may make appearances on the show fairly regularly. And, she brings her own brand of hilarity, personal stories no one else would ever have the nerve to share, and sometimes dark, quite depressing stuff. There's a good mix with Leanne.
Yes.
We've got to keep her around. It's good. It's good. Gourd, please, says someone in the comments. Zelna. Yes, but you know, really the big problem there is that Gord I think he wakes up at noon.
Well, he wakes up in Cape Town. That's the big problem.
At noon.
I don't know about the noon part, but he's geographically not here.
I'm fairly sure. I think if you check any message he's ever sent to you, it's afternoon. It's usually afternoon. That's when that stuff comes through. All right, Flex, we've got something else here. Ben was saying you can always do something about being ugly, but you can also try your talents. I know I've put the cosh on many people's ambitions for singing because idols really ruined that for me. But here is a guy giving it his all. Have you got that clip to show people? This is the kind of thing that this inspires me to want to ask people to sing, you know, let it all out. Here it is again. That's great. All right. Very, very good. And then one or two other things, because we do have to wrap it up in a moment. But this is quite interesting. Ben and I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we would talk about Bogan business class. So I'm sure you've had the experience in your life where you have an economy class ticket. Most of us fly economy. You're on an overseas trip, maybe. Maybe it's 2 hours to Cape Town. It can be as arduous. Who knows? And you think, because you got the open seats next to you. Let's say you're in the middle and there are 2 seats on either side, or you're on the side and the other 2 are open, whatever configuration blows your mind. But effectively, they're about to close the doors and you realize you've got the row to yourself. That's winning the lottery, right? It's the best
It's
feeling.
winning the economy lottery.
It is. It is the economy. It's not quite as good as business class, but it'll do. You feel like you look at the other people, you look down on them, the other people around you, squeezed into, the 3 at the end.
Yeah,
and,
sitting upright and
Right.
clenched.
And we've spoken about this on the window seat, the travel feature that we do with travel.co.za. And there are ways that if you're sneaky about it, sometimes you book the middle of the middle, and then other people who come in and book after you will try to avoid that because they think, who's that fucking psychopath who booked the middle of the middle? That's clearly someone, it's a mass murderer. There's something wrong with this person. And then you may just frighten them away enough to have the whole row to yourself. Fantastic. But then it's amazing how badly people will behave once they've got that territory. The person in the castle, they start thinking they're a lord.
Well,
They put up all the
long haul flights
armrests.
can get quite traumatic, so people can get territorial on it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going from Bogan land anywhere to civilization,
Hmm.
you're looking at 16-hour flights or whatever.
Oh, sure. No, definitely.
You
Any advantage you can score on that, whether it's this much legroom, you think you've just scored
Yeah.
massively.
If you're coming out of Sydney going to like the rest of the world.
Anywhere except Auckland is just
See, I mean Auckland
tremendously far.
goes to Sydney generally and then
Yeah, no one goes from Sydney to Auckland. Yeah,
the rest of the world.
right. It would be like going back up the toilet. Why would you do
I mean,
that?
Air New Zealand is not long hauling to the rest of the world.
Oh, hell no.
Like
No.
everything, they rely on Australia to do the heavy
Yes,
lifting.
correct. That's exactly right. And you may listen to us from New Zealand and you may have criticisms for the terrible things that I want to point out, Ben has said about New Zealand today. It's been very disparaging about your country that you may be listening to us from.
No, it's
I welcome a fight,
it's a nice
you know?
place if you like. Yeah.
if you like.
I'm sure I said things there. Maybe just got cut off in the microphone.
Okay. Bitcoin Bot wants to know who books the guests because James has been doing a cuck job. Where is the machosha? Yeah, he did promise us a machosha, remember? Ketsi, you reckon you could get a machosha? There we go. See, that's the
Have
kind
you
of
seen Ketsi operate around
spirit.
here?
That's
Ketsi will get
the-
anybody.
That's the entrepreneurial spirit I'm looking for. All right, machosha time. Let's get a machosha in here. We've been talking about this for ages. Why have the comments disappeared? What are you talking about, Chris? I'm reading your comment now. What are you, blind, mute, ignorant? I've just read your comment. Where have the comments disappeared? Your computer's screwed. That's the problem. You're like those people who, when your internet goes down and everyone else's internet in South Africa is down, you phone the internet service provider and you go, why is my internet down? Why is it just me? I paid my bill. Why am I not getting my service? This is ridiculous. What a way to end the Friday show with you being all negative Nancy. Armin says, someone once tried to steal my business class seat. Wow. The cheek, the nerve of that. Usually I'm quiet and I'll be the idiot who'd let that go, but not this time. Who steals a seat? You paid for it and someone tried to steal your seat? And the temerity. Imagine that. Some stinky economy class person kind of goes through the curtain while no one's looking. Security don't stop them. It's my seat. No, it isn't. Get back into cattle class. How dare you? Good for you, Harmin. Keep the peasants. I've always said, peasants, you need to remind them, till the fields, eat the handful of gravel that your Lord and Master has given you, and just be grateful for that you have both feet, for example. Because there was a time where if you were a bad peasant, they'd take a foot and you'd have to hobble. And that way people knew you were a bad peasant and no other lord would take you as their peasant. You know? Small thing. Peasants, just because they can pull up to a takeaway place now, they really think that they rule the roost. Going into business class, how dare they? Should have given him a good crack with your walking stick. Watching from Auckland, says Crystal. Here we go, Ben. You ready?
Yeah. But Crystal's from here.
It's just before 6 p.m. and a great way to start my weekend with Ben and Gareth. Have you been listening to the show, Crystal? I don't know if you've been paying attention. We need to interview a car guard, says Marius. Why do you need me to do that? Why don't you just stop? I'll tell you what, you're going somewhere today, maybe tomorrow. You got to buy some groceries. You interview a car guard. What do you think? I'm going to pull out some magical golden thread and discover it's Jean-Paul Sartre who's been parking my car or looking after it while I'm in the shop?
Marius, I think you've opened up a little door here. People should go and do interviews for the show. Submit them to James.
That's a good idea. Yeah, all these people with all these suggestions.
We can't do everything. You guys must go. You live your lives in all different places.
Right.
So do interviews.
Who's your car guard?
Yeah.
Nostradamus? Don't ask him some questions. Send us a clip.
Go do interviews, submit them, and the best ones will be on Friday.
Yeah, laziness. Don't tolerate this anymore. Our community WhatsApp group, says Tracy's become a proper moan group. Aren't they all, though?
They all are.
Yeah, they start. Mute them if you have to be on them. Mute them for a year. You can have that option. You can mute it for a year. Take off notifications. Put it in your archive messages. Put it as far away. Tracy, you're punishing yourself for no good reason here. She says, as soon as the power is out or someone's internet is down, some Karen or Arnold will send a message. Anyone else without power, internet, etc. These are people with very few problems in their lives.
So in my building WhatsApp group, like quite an old building, we have water issues and this general fuckery around power and stuff.
Oh.
But we have this woman, her name is Faith, and she is just so phenomenal. She is literally like a ward councillor of our building.
Of the building.
She's on everything.
Busybody, huh?
She's busy, but like she has a job, she has a life, but she
sorts out problems.
She's so selfless. She just makes it all happen.
Oh, it's wonderful.
So like power can go out, no one's gonna go hands in the power.
How old is she?
She's younger than me. I would say she's in her 30s.
You should marry her. She sounds like a perfect wife. She solves problems.
She lives the perfectly nice gentleman as well.
Oh, she's got it. I was going to say that's the kind of woman you should marry.
But people don't complain. She's like, guys, I noticed the power's out.
Go down on one knee right today.
I've logged the call. I'm on it.
As the husband's walking towards her place, get in between them, get on the knee.
I'm happy for both.
Force her to choose.
They're just nice people.
Okay.
Happy for both.
All right. I just think that sounds like a solution to a lot of problems. A woman who sorts shit out, decisive, in
High
control.
Agency,
I love that. Yeah. I think that's wonderful. Faith, good for you. Ben, of course, might have been a disappointment anyway, so just strike my comments about marrying him. But you keep doing the good work, Faith. Mapello says, get more interesting black guests to attract more black audience like you used to.
Like you used to. When did you make the shift here?
I didn't know that we had a quota on guests on the show. I think Mapelo seems to be confusing us with the government, where we have to get how many BEE people have you had on the show lately? You know, Mapelo, you've been listening for a long time. This is a very embarrassing comment that you've made here, because then you've completely misunderstood the show. You think, first of all, you assume black people will only watch if there are black people on, which is a terrible... you seem to think that all black people are the same, Mapelo, that they would all be interested in the same thing. And, oh, well, if there's a black guest, I'll watch that show. I'm fairly sure that if you asked people individually what they like, you'd find that they like a bunch of different things. And our only criteria, let me point out, for having people on the show is that they're interesting. I don't really give a shit what race they're from.
Yeah.
So I think, Mapelo, maybe this is a good excuse, and it is the last 3-day-a-week show. It could be a good excuse for you to find some other shows. Eastermeis, wow, says, what is your take about the general that went to Iran and spoke smack about the USA? This is such an embarrassment. And then our president said, I didn't know he was there. What a surprise. This guy's always surprised. You know, it's amazing if you cannot seek patterns, if you can't figure out that this, then that. If this, then that. Everything in the world is just chaos and constant surprise. This is our president. He lives in a state of constant surprise. So I don't know what to say to you, Eastermeis. Someone paid for this guy to fly to Iran, which is such a bad move at the moment. Like Iran has been emasculated in front of the world. There's no Russia, India, China would have nothing to do with them, and those are our supposed BRICS partners. They were like, we have nothing to see here. What? Iran's on the phone? We're not taking that call. What does South Africa do? We send a general in our army, in our defense force, to go and meet with them. For what? They don't have anything. They've been bombed.
To talk about collaborating.
Collaborating about what? Digging up fucked nuclear reactors? What are we going to talk to them about?
This is the part of the story I don't understand, is that what support will Iran give us if trouble brews?
Pistachio nuts? Carpets?
We're not close.
It's just...
They're not going to send a helicopter over
It's just unbelievable.
keep the peace.
It's so stupid. I don't know... Again, I'm going to reiterate what I keep saying to people when they ask me about the ANC, and I don't want to talk about the ANC because it's just boring. It's so pedestrian. I said this too the other day, is that South African politics is just so... There's such a low barrier to entry. You know, if you turn on the news or whatever and you see a commentator, a political commentator, these are very, very low barrier to entry people. And they're saying, oh, well, the internal wranglings of the ANC. This stuff is puerile. Nursery school kids could give you an analysis of South African politics in 15 minutes, and they'd be right. They'd be right 90% of the time. So I don't understand how this stuff... I don't know how it occupies people's minds for as much time as it does. But it does seem to me that given 3 choices, the ANC government of this country will always choose the worst one.
Somehow.
They will always find a way to make the worst choice. You can have a stack of gold bars, or you can have a pile of cash. And I know there's a bad example because they'd always be for the greed. Or there's a turd. And they'll always choose the turd. It's just phenomenal. It's unbelievable. Anyway, Judas says, yes, I'm a different category of black who enjoys the show and interacts with you. See? I mean, already you're just making Mapelo's case worse by the moment. Let's wrap up the show, Gareth. Here's a thought for the weekend. No working during drinking hours is limited edition. Got some serious drinking planned for the weekend, huh? I hope you survive. All right, that's it. I do agree. Great place to end it. We're already 2 minutes over. This is more than you deserve. We'll be back on Friday next week for a full 3 hours, which is also more than you deserve. But you know what? I'm feeling generous. So
Very giving.
I know. I'm a philanthropist. What can I tell you? Oh,
the
have
poll.
we got a poll? Oh, God. So we had 213 votes. 69, that's a great number. 69% of people are very, very unhappy about the show going to one show a week.
And the rest?
69. No, 31% say they're happy.
Cool.
That's it. Those are the only options we gave you. Of course, this is a democracy, so we're going to listen to you. Yeah, we've listened. What have we decided? Well, we were going to do what we're going to do anyway. So we'll see you on Friday next week. Bye.